Hi you guys, so in this video I'm going to go over supplies needed for the beginner reborning series, and I do have another video that goes over pretty much every supply you would need for reborning, but I want to talk about specific ones in this one. I will have links to all of these items in the description of this video, as well as links to that other video and about setting up your oven. You all know that I use Heatset products, so this is going to be with Heatset, but I am going to throw in some stuff for air dry. So the very first thing that you're going to need is a paint system, whatever paint system you want to use. I personally use Genesis. Genesis is no longer made, so you can't use Genesis. But there are a lot of other Heatset paint lines. So here are some of the paint lines. If you're using Heatset and you have not bought a paint line yet, right now my favorite one that I recommend are Winsor & Newton Winton oil colors. I do have a link for this in the description. You could get them at Amazon. You can also get them at McPherson's. And if you do get Winton oil colors, you will want to use them with Exodus thinning oil. There is another brand that is made using these Winton oil colors that is called Call Oils. And that is Winton oil colors mixed with a base that keeps it fluid in the jar and prevents it from drying out in your pellet. It does the same thing as the Exodus thinning oil, but keeps the paint a little bit thicker, but you'll use these exactly the same way. And Call Oils are available at McPherson's. There is Irresistible's Heatset paints. These are sold by Irresistibles. You can use them with their new product Liquid Thin, or it needs to be mixed with their thinning medium, and then you can also use regular solvents after you mix them initially with that thinning medium, or if you want to use Liquid Thin instead. Another line is BC Heatset paints. And these, I believe, need to be mixed with thinning medium as well, or Exodus thinning oil. The Exodus thinning oil you can use with any of these brands instead of thinning medium. Another popular one is Alva Go. And you can buy these through their Facebook website. They're only available in the US if you buy them through their Facebook page. I think they also are being sold at like Creative, I think it is called, for other countries, UK and things like that. And these are the major Heatset brands right now, which is June 2024. There is another one also called Gemini from Bountiful Baby. I have not tested that one yet, so I don't have any feedback. I do know that Gemini needs to be used specifically with Gemini thinner. It will not work with Mona Lisa or other thinners. And there's another paint line that's getting ready to come out that I'm very excited about. It is Exodus brand. Exodus already has mediums and varnish, but they're coming out with the color line that I've been involved with since day one of development, and I'm very excited about that line. They work exactly like Genesis, and that will probably be what I'm recommending in the future. And I'm also working on more advanced series using each one of these new Heatset lines so that you can really tell exactly how to use them. But for the purpose of this video, just make sure that you have a paint line. Make sure that you get, you know, any applicable varnishes or mediums. They're all kind of different based on which paint line you choose. All right, so you got paint covered. Now we're going to talk about thinners. This is what I use, and this is my preference. It's Clean Strip Odorless Mineral Spirits. You want to make sure it is clear mineral spirits, not a mineral spirit alternative or green version, which is white. This, even though it's my favorite, it's not always great for beginners. It has a much lower oil content, so it flashes off, which means air dries very quickly. That is great for me or more experienced artists who paint quickly and want their work to air dry right away so they can put it in the oven. It's not great for beginners who might need a little bit more time. For beginners, Gamsol is a great product. So is Mona Lisa Odorless paint thinner, which these are both just odorless mineral spirits, but different brands and slightly different oil content. Mona Lisa has like a medium oil content, and you don't know much about this, I'm sure, yet, but you will. So this is what most beginners use because it does have a longer work time. Gamsol has a higher oil content, so it takes much longer to air dry. This would be great for like darker skin tones and a much longer blending time. Or you could use Exodus thinning oil instead of thinner at all. I love Exodus thinning oil. I use it all of the time and highly recommend it. If you're using air dry paint, you will want distilled water. As far as air dry paint lines, there's so many to choose from. I used to use air dry paint and switched to Heatset about 6 or 7 years ago now, I guess. But I really loved Golden Fluids. They are highly pigmented. They're artist grade. And they're pretty affordable. Another brand is Reborn FX. You can get this at McPherson's and maybe other stores. I don't have a bunch of air dry lines because I don't use air dry anymore to show you guys, but there is Ultimate Fusion. My mind is blank right now. There are several air dry brands. You just want to make sure, like, they do not have to be Reborn specific like this one, but they do have to be artist or professional grade paints. Do not use like Folk Art brand or Walmart brand, like at the Artist Choice or any of those brands. They do not hold up well. They have a lot of binders and fillers and lower quality pigments, so they are not appropriate for reborning. The link to these are in the description. You'll also want to get, if you're using air dry paint, some mediums. This has not been used in a long time, and you could tell it's been like in a crate in my closet, but I found it. This is what I used to use when I painted with air dry paint. You will want some sort of matte medium or an extender, which is like a slow dry. I prefer Golden brand. I do not like Liquitex. Liquitex mediums tend to be very sticky and pretty shiny, which is not great when you're painting everything. You know, you'll have a million little hairs, even if you have an air purifier and work in an almost sterile environment, you'll get hair stuck to it. So you don't want a shiny product. If you do buy like a Reborn specific brand, most of them, almost all of them, I believe, come with mediums that go with that brand. But anything Golden brand is usually really, really great. All right, so that is paints, thinner, and medium. So let's get down to the basic things that you'll need. You will need a palette for painting. This is the one that I use, and sorry about that. I should have opened it first, but I wanted you guys to see what the box looks like. I just ordered this second one because I'm filming this series along with other ones, and I like to keep my paint in my palette so that I don't get lost with what colors I'm using. So I got a second palette. It looks like this. This is a porcelain palette, and you just want to make sure that your palette is porcelain or ceramic. You do not want to use a plastic palette, especially if you're using air dry. You want to make sure that you're always using glass. I mean, especially if you're using Heatset, you want to make sure that you're using porcelain, glass, or ceramic. Anything plastic, like these little cups and stuff, if you leave it in there, the thinners will actually eat through the bottom and you'll have paint all over the place. So this is my favorite palette. I've used this palette for many years. It's very affordable. It has a lot of wells, which is great, and it works really great. So let's talk about wedges. Wedges are a very important part of reborning. This is a cosmetic wedge, and we use these for a variety of different things, and I really like a few different kinds. I love Swisper's jumbo wedges, which are these ones. They are not very dense. They're very squishy. I use these for varnishing because they leave a great texture. I also use them for what I call a wattle. A wattle is not a technical Reborn term. It is just an eBorns term, where I put paint on here and pounce it onto the vinyl like this, and it leaves little tiny pinprint patterns that look very realistic. It's kind of like the difference between a wash and a model is why I call it a wattle. A wash would be when you paint the entire baby with a brush and then pounce it off with a cosmetic wedge. A model would be when you have a plucked sponge that leaves a visible pattern. So this does a tiny bit of both. So that's why I named it wattle. I really love this brand, is Swisper's. These are my favorite brand of modeling sponges. These are like a medium density. They're good for plucking modeling sponges if you want to do that. For blending and cleaning, other things. I also usually get this brand, which is Amazon Basics, because it is super cheap, and sometimes you don't need a good quality wedge. Sometimes you just need to clean stuff up or just blend things a little bit, and so these are really great and affordable option. Another sponge type that you will need will be a modeling depth layer sponge set. This one right here, I absolutely love. It's from A Small World Nursery by Desiree Double. This is an eBorns edition, and I actually worked with her and designed all of these patterns in this sponge set. So this is what I use for most of my tutorials and classes. You can, of course, make your own out of a variety of different types of sponges, like, wedges or rounds. You can make your own. I do have videos showing how to do that, but I really love this set. It's specific to my style of painting and all of my classes, so I use it very often, and her link will be in the description as well. When it comes to brushes, there are a lot of options, and I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. I really prefer cheaper brushes. I can't even tell you how many thousands of dollars that I've spent on brushes, and I find the cheap ones work a lot better for me. I lose less hairs and they last longer, but I usually replace my brushes about once a year, and these are all super cheap. So this is a very cheap, what I call a mixing brush set. That's not the actual name of the brush set, but it's what I use it for. It has good brushes for applying washes and really great brushes for taking paint out of jars and mixing it up. This would be a detail brush set. I don't use the fan brushes as much, but I do use them for like Lanugo sometimes. But you want all of these really small brushes to get into very tiny creases and stuff. I also get this set, which is similar to this set, but has some in different sizes. You just want a lot of variety of sizes. This is another brush set that I got. This one, I'm going to say, like, if you don't have a lot of money to buy brushes, I would get this set of brushes, and I would get this set of detail brushes, and then one other set. So these have all of the really great fine detail brushes that you could possibly, like, all the brushes you could need for doing details. This one has a hair stuck to it. It's not the best advertisement so far for this brush. But you can see like how tiny they are. These are great for very fine creases and certain effects. So you definitely need a detail brush set. Another set that is pretty important to have is just a cheap makeup brush set. I got this one because it is super cheap. It has a lot of stuff that I don't need. But brushes like this, larger like blush and foundation brushes, and like I already opened this one and used some of them, but they have these smaller ones too that you'll need for pouncing creases and cleaning up other things, which I'll teach you how to do in the actual tutorial series. Some other things that are great to have are these small, they're disposable eyeliner brushes. These are fantastic for doing nails, eyebrows, a lot, like a bunch of different things, and they're great. You will also want microblading Q-tips. So the best microblading Q-tips are these little teeny tiny ones. These, again, you can use these for nails, for cleaning up creases and small areas. They're fantastic. I can no longer find the small ones by themselves. I can only find them in a combo pack. These ones are a little bit bigger. They're also longer. But I just buy the combo pack because I use these a lot if I need to clean out a crease or something on a slightly bigger baby or a deeper, larger crease. So they both work great. If you get the combo pack, it's not like you'll never use the bigger ones. You'll use them both very often. Another thing that I use are pan pastel powders. I'm going to put a link to my nails video. I use these for nails, and McPherson's is going to be carrying a custom set that I've created, but I don't have a release date for that yet. But I do have in that video the colors listed and how to do them. So I definitely recommend for doing nails to look the most realistic, and it's pretty simple to do them this way. So it's great for people just starting out as well, that you look at that video and get pan pastels. You do not have to get pan pastel powders. You can do nails with paint or Prisma pencils. I also do use Prisma pencils, and I use them mostly for eyebrows. And you could just get a regular set of Prisma pencil. I think another brand is Faber-Castell. Is that something sort of like that? You can get that brand instead. Another couple of really great things to have are small craft popsicle sticks and pipettes. I use pipettes a lot if I overfill my palette and I need to take some out, or if I'm mixing colors and I just need a little bit of that to add to that. And they also are great for putting your paint into small disposable condiment cups. so that you can check the translucency of your paint, which is really important when you're beginning, and will focus a lot on mixing and getting the appropriate consistency and translucency levels. So that should be everything that you are going to need to paint a kit. You know, as far as assembly and everything, you're gonna have to do that also. And I have a lot of assembly videos and the supplies you need for assembly and all of that. So I'm not gonna do, likely I won't do a separate assembly video for this course specifically, just because I have so many others. But I will give you a link as well to the assembly videos. And in my basic supplies video, I also cover things that you will need to assemble your Reborn after you create it. And then one of the most important things that you will need is going to be a Reborn doll kit. You can get a kit at McPherson's, Irresistibles, Truborns, iArt Reborn if you are in the UK, Dolls by Sandy, or Bountiful Baby. You just want to make sure that you get a kit from an authorized dealer. You do not want to get a kit from Amazon, eBay, AliExpress, Temu, Shein, any of those places. Those kits are illegally counterfeited kits, and they can have more harmful chemicals in them. They're not regulated, and they are stolen copies that are illegally produced, so they're actually illegal for you to purchase or possess. McPherson's has a wide selection of kits under $50, and Bountiful Baby also does. They always have sales of like 40% off, so you can usually get one of their kits for like $40, $45. So yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to think, is there anything else I forgot? But I think that that is it.